All right, so my word this time around for our second word study is the Greek word kardia, which means heart. So just as I started to dig in and do a little bit of research on this, saw that it's used 156 times in the New Testament. Also, just kind of poking through those occasions that it's used on, most times it's translated into the ESV as heart. But there were a couple times which I thought were interesting, where this word kardia was translated into the word himself, or an occasion also where it was translated into the word mind. So I won't give too much away right now, but I think those kind of point to maybe the bigger meaning, the wider meaning of this Greek word kardia than is often described in English by just using the word heart. So there's some more depth there. But so I started to dig through and go through all the resources in accordance and the dictionaries, and just see what they had to offer about this word kardia. And for a lot of them, there were just a couple of main definitions. And the first was the actual heart, the physiology of that, the actual heart, and the central body organ, the center, the organ that's in the center of our circulation of our blood, which leads us to believe that's the seat of our, or center of our physical life. So there were some definitions, obviously, that this word relates to that actual organ. The other definition that was pretty widely stated throughout all these dictionaries was this idea of kardia, meaning the center of human life, the center or the seat of our desires and our feelings, our affections, our passions, our impulses, the middle or center of all of that, of all our physical and spiritual and emotional life. And I thought it was interesting here that especially TDNT provided some real good information on this, and they pointed to times in the New Testament when this is used, and it's used to describe the seat of feelings or desires or passions. That's what kardia is, or the seat of thoughts and understanding, the seat of the will, the religious center where God turns, and where we're most this kind of like the sphere of God's influence in humanity and in human life. And so basically this idea kind of points to that this word kardia. One proper definition for this word kardia is kind of the whole inner man or woman, our inner self. It's not just an organ, it's also not just our feelings and affections and emotions. A lot of times it's real easy in American culture to think of heart, and for us, heart means feelings and emotions and affections and passions and desires. But for us in American culture, it's very separate and distinct from our minds. Our mind is the rationale. Our mind is the thought. Our mind is the choices. Our mind is the understanding. But we don't really see this distinction in Greek. This word kardia seems to represent all of that, our entire inner self. Our physical, emotional, our thoughts, our choices, our understanding, our feelings, our passions, our desires, our imaginations and wisdom and beliefs and purpose and perceptions, just all of that wrapped into this word Kardia. So that's kind of what I've discovered and where I'm going with this. But the passage I chose is from Matthew chapter 22, specifically verse 37. And here is where Jesus is responding to the Pharisees. And one of them asks him this question to test him of what's the greatest commandment. And he responds with words I assume we're all very familiar with, words that are also known as the Shema in the Old Testament for the Jews. He says, it reads, that verse reads, and he said to him, you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. And so looking at Kardia in this verse, it's a noun, it's feminine, it's singular, and it's dative noun. So a couple possibilities I kind of played around with. I think both fit, but help me out if you disagree or see otherwise. Would be obviously kind of the dative of possession, because it is love the Lord your God with all your heart. So whose heart? The heart is possessed by you. It's owned by you. It's your heart. But it just doesn't. I think it's kind of obvious, but I'm not sure it really has any significance to it. So I was kind of digging a little deeper too, and I think also a dative of means would fit here. Just referring back to loving the Lord your God. You shall love the Lord your God. How? By what means? By means of or with your whole heart, all of your heart. And again, this heart here meaning your entire inner self, all of your thoughts, all of your emotions, all of your actions, all of your choices, all of your imagination and desires and purposes. We should love the Lord our God with all of that. Give it all to him. And for the Jews, they would pray this Shema or were instructed to every day. And so every day started with this idea of surrendering their whole self, surrendering the collection of all their inner self, surrendering basically their whole life each day to the Lord our God. And I think it also is interesting here how this verse reads, and Jesus says, with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. And in American culture, and from my perspective, it's easy for me to think, okay, so those are three distinct things. And that's why he's mentioning all of them, because they're separate. Our heart is one thing, our soul is one thing, and our mind is another. And so he's saying we need to include all these things in loving him. I'm not so sure that's exactly how the Greek words here function. I'm almost wondering if this is more of kind of strengthening the point, kind of repeating the point. I almost wonder if it would be much different in Greek if it read, love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your heart and with all your heart. Just the importance of that and the significance of that, because if I'm understanding this Greek word kardia correctly so far, it seems to encompass what we would think in English as representing soul and mind. All of that seems to fit in this idea of kardia being our thoughts and our understanding and our passions and our desires and the place where the sphere where God impacts us and our affections. And so yeah, this idea of kardia being your whole body and your whole mind, your the entirety of your feelings and your desires, your future and your failures, everything wrapped up for your entire inner man or woman, your entire inner self. And here Jesus is calling us to love him with all of that. So that's kind of where I'm going. That's kind of the importance of this word in this passage, I think, because it just represents kind of sanctification and giving ourselves completely, surrendering ourselves completely to God and loving and following him. And so yeah, that's where I'm going. Would love to hear any thoughts or feedback if you have any, or if agree or disagree. So that's all valuable as I prepare to write my paper. Thank you for giving 10 minutes of your time to listen to this.